Once we have seen the flow of our project and how it works with the different tools, we will start with the first one, and that is Firebase. To begin, let's click here on the Start button. We are going to create a new project. We can name it whatever we want. In this case, I will name it Hardware AI. Continue. That is, click Continue. And we can create or skip Google Analytics. Let's wait a few seconds for our project to be created in Firebase. And done, our project is completely created. Let's click Continue and then follow a series of steps. First step, let's activate our real-time database, the real-time database. How do we do that? To do this, we go to the menu on the left, look for compilation, then search for real-time database. We will click on Start. And we are going to start in test mode. Here we can choose the location. By default, we can leave the United States and select the second option. We enable. Once our real-time database is ready and created, we are going to create a path. We create that path in the following way. We go here, position ourselves, and find the plus button. I am going to create a path in the following way. First, name of the sensor or actuator, in this case, a buzzer. Now I am going to add an ID and finally the status. And we will leave that default state at 0 and 1. I add it, meaning that when the system or anything else starts by default, it will be at 0, meaning it will be off. And once an update or something else is sent, this state will change to 1. Once the real-time database is ready, we will continue by obtaining the URL of our project. What is that URL? It is this one. We will copy it and we can save it here in our draft. Done. Now, we are going to obtain the API key. How do we obtain it? We look here again in Firebase. We go to the upper left section where it says Overview in the little gear, and we go to Project Settings. If we can see, maybe we won't have a web API key available. What we're going to do is go here to the bottom section in your apps and select the third option. We can give it any name and I will click Register App. We can then see that here within the entire SDK, we find the API key, which is this one right here. We are going to go to the console, and in any case, it will already be available here. We are going to wait a moment for it to be available, and we will also find it below in the same configuration. We will save it here. Ready. And email and password. That is, we are going to create credentials here in Firebase, which are the same ones that we will later add to our code in Arduino. For that, we go here in Build, Authentication, and we are going to start. We enable sign in with email and password, enable, save, and add a new user in this case. We go up here on the left section, users, and click on add user. Email. I'm going to use this one. We can use any we want to define in the Arduino code, and the password likewise. Ready? And in that way, we then have our configured our part of the project in Firebase. Now, if you notice, we have this pass in the the real-time database. Uh, it will be ID and status, and it is expected that this root will have 0 as a default. And once a request is made to activate a device, it should change to 1. Now let's see the next tool, which is Make. Make is a no-code automation tool. It is highly recommended for rapid prototyping. And best of all, with the link I am sharing with you, you can get 1 month completely free when you purchase a pro plan with them. Now then, how do we log in? We type make.com on the internet, click on start, register, and it will take us to this console. We go to the upper right section and click on create a new scenario. And in this case, we are going to specifically manage 2 apps. First, webhooks, and we select the second option. This app is going to allow us to activate it or activate this automation once. In the conversational agent, the user's intention to activate or deactivate a device is found or identified. Let's proceed here to add. I can give a name to that gateway. It could be hardware AI. And we click save. And then it will create an address. We are going to copy it and I will put it here. Now, what we are going to do is create a second or add a second app, and it will be HTTP. I'm going to add it and look for the action to make a re-request. And now, how do we configure this one? This is the one we're going to integrate directly with Firebase. First, in URL, we'll put that specific path of our real-time database. Let's take it and paste it here, but with the exact path where you need to change that variable. So user barra diagonal id/state .json. Let's check if it turned out well. All right. So what method are we going to use? The patch method. And so we are going to configure the following headers. Tipo de contenido. Ready? And we are going to add a query string, and we are going to add it as raw. Let's add the credentials here as well. What are those credentials? Well, the API key that we had copied, which is the one we have here, as such, of the Firebase project. And so here now what we are going to organize is that response, how we expect it to be of type JSON. And we will leave it like this for now. And then shortly we will add then that data or that variable we're going to receive here with this trigger of this webhook. We save. And supposedly, in theory, we should almost have the integration with Make Ready. Now, what we're going to do is create our conversational agent in ElevenLabs. For that, we're going to go to ElevenLabs.io. We're going to go to the application, and we are going to select. It can be from here, from the main menu, or from this one here, directly conversational agent, or we click here and we are going to create a completely new one. We are going to create an AI agent, blank template. And we're going to give it a name. It can be Neo. I will call it Neo, and we'll click here below on create. Now, we are going to select the language for our agent. In my case, it would be Spanish. We look for Spanish. And additional languages are if we want our agent to speak another language. For now, I will leave it like that. First message, the one that our conversational agent will say at the beginning. So it can be, "Hello, my name is Neo. How can I assist you today?" And we continue with the system prompt. It is what we are going to provide as a prompt for our agent to fulfill that function. In this case, I have created one here where we say, "You are Neo, an intelligent voice assistant specialized in device control. You are friendly, efficient, and respond clearly and precisely. In addition to recognizing commands to turn devices on or off, you can maintain a brief and natural conversation with the user to confirm their intention or answer basic questions about the devices. And what instructions do I give it to identify according to the user's intention? If they want to turn on the equipment or any device, convert it into a variable 1. And if they want to, or identify the user's intention to want to turn off, then in this case return a 0 as variable, and at the end we say the following. I will explain why. Execute the action. Once the intention 10 is determined, start the tool called agent and fill its property with the corresponding value. What is that? And it's that further down the configuration we find something called the tools. I am going to create a new one, a customizable one, and you'll see that we are going to organize it like a web hub. What name can we give it? Any. In this case, the same one we used there in make. And so I'm going to give it a description. What description can I give it? Specifically, I can say that it can behave. For example, with or that it identifies. In this case, it could be identifies the user's intention and depends, and determines 1 or 0 depending on whether they want to turn off or on. That's exactly what I can say here in natural language. And what we are going to do here is the following. We are going to go to make, and it's the link that we found here that we created from this gateway. We are going to copy it. We are going to paste it here, and the method will be post. Done. And now we have a series of fields. In this case, the one that serves us is filling the parameter type vary. And what we are going to do here again, we can easily take and paste this instruction that we read up here, right? And I'm going to create a variable of type string, and the identifier would be state. Ready. And I can say here 1 or 0. Let's click on add. Done. Here we are going to ready. We save it again. And in that sense, we already have our conversational agent configured. Let's see if it works. First, let's test it from here.
Hello, my name is Neo. How can I help you today?
Hello, Neo. How's everything going?
Hello, everything is going very well. Thank you for asking. How can I assist you today? Is there a device you want to turn on or off?
I am going to activate the node here to receive confirmation to see if it works. They are integrated. Neo, I would like to be able to turn on the device, please.
I understand. Do you want to turn on a device?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will turn on the device. Done. The device is on.
That would be all. Thank you very much.
Perfect. I'm glad I could help you. Have an excellent day.
Ready. So look here how that trigger was received. Here we can see. And it's state 1. Now what are we going to do with that one? Now we're going to finish the configuration here from our JSON. And now we're going to click it and see that it already shows us state here. We select it, save it, and we could check if theoretically it ended up working or not. How do we do it? We can go back here to activate the test of the scenario in Make, and we'll try again.
Hello, my name is Neo. How can I help you today?
Neo, can we activate the device, please? Neo, can we activate the device, please?
Sure, to confirm, do you want me to turn on the device?
Yes, please.
Device turned on. Is there anything else I can assist you
That's all. Thank you very much.
with? Happy to have helped you with turning on the device. Have a good day.
And we can see then that now it works here. And we see that then the variable state is now set to 1. Let's see if it's working. Let's go to here to the real-time database. And we can see that state was updated to 1. However, we encountered the following error, and that is that the root was duplicated. So how do we fix this? Simple. Here, I'm going to remove this from the root, and I'm going to leave it like that, just as it is. id.json. Save. And let's check if everything is now working perfectly. I'm going to activate this flow again.
Hello, my name is Neo. How can I help you today?
Hello, Neo. Could we turn off the device, please?
Sure, to confirm, do you want to turn off the device?
Yes, please.
Alright, the device is turned off. Is there anything else I can help you
That
with?
would be all. Thank you.
Happy to help you. Have a good day.
And in this way, we have been able to set up our system and integration part and the automation between them. So what do we have left? To configure our Arduino code. Alright, so now we're going to start reviewing our Arduino code. I will leave in the video description the direct link where you can find the template we will use in the exercise. The template is the following. First, we will define the Wi-Fi credentials for our network to which 92 will connect. Then, we will define the Firebase credentials. If you notice, we have the API key, which belongs to our project in Firebase. We have that pass or that link where we have the real-time database, and we are going to define those credentials we created there from authentication. We can even see here how we start our pin, right? And it then checks that it is necessary for it to start or when running the program for it to start turned off, right? We can also identify a series of security settings here, right? And the way that data is going to be transmitted and received, right? Which we really won't go into detail about. For our code to work, it is necessary to install a series of libraries. How do we do it? Well, we go to the left section and look for the third one, which is some books library, and we are going to add the library ESP32. I'll tell you specifically which one. Firebase ESP32. And we look precisely for this library, the Mobest one. We install it, and that way we will be able to use our code without problem. It's also necessary to install the boards manager or ESP32 boards, right? 2. Let's see that in this case, we're going to use the ones from Expressive Systems, which I already have installed. And in this way, how are we going to use the XIAO ESP32S3 Sense board from Seeed Studio? So we can even find it here in Tools. In the moment of searching board by the line ESP32, I will be able to find, well, all the different commercial references available. In this case, the one I use, which I highly recommend, also because it has a tiny concept, meaning it is quite small and compact, but powerful. And here, we will be able to find it. All right. Now, what we are going to do is fill in all these fields of the template. We start with the Wi-Fi credentials, then the API key, the real-time database path, and the Firebase credentials that we created there. It should look something like this. Here, I already have it filled in with the credentials of one of my projects, and it should function without any problem. We are going to, in this case, I'm going to update the root of the real-time database for this project. It's important that we remove the HTTPS protocol here, alright? We must leave it exactly like this. And I'm also going to then put the API key of the Firebase project. Ready. Once the credentials are set, then we could verify the code. In this case, I do recommend that we try to compile right away, since it takes a bit of time. We're talking about 5 to 10 minutes to compile on the board, so we could save ourselves that process. I am going to connect my board. In this case, we have the ESP32S3 from XIAO. I'll show it to you here on camera. We can then see that we have our XIAO connected, and to be able to do today's exercise, have connected a group extension to the XIAO and connected a group type buzzer to it to be able to do the exercise in a simple and practical way. Then I'm going to first make sure to select the port and the commercial reference that it is. And then I'm going to click Start Compilation. We can see that the code is already being written to our board. Let's wait. And it's supposed to be ready there. Let's test it. First, let's look here at the serial monitor. Ready. And it is showing us that the path does not exist. Let's check by what? All set. Of course. It happens that I have it here as LED, and that's not right. I'm going to rewrite it here. I will leave this configured by default as a variable of type LED, but it is important to change the path. And again, we are here writing our code with a path correction made. Let's check if it's correct now. Again, let's look at the serial monitor. All right. So here now. Hello?
Hola, mi nombre es Neo. ¿Cómo puedo ayudarte el día de hoy?
Hola Neo, ¿podemos encender por favor el dispositivo?
Hola, claro que
Hello,
sí.
of
Para
course. Just to
confirmar, ¿quieres que
confirm, do
encienda
you
el
want me to
dispositivo?
turn on the
Sí, por
device?
favor.
Yes, please.
Dispositivo encendido.
Device turned
¿Hay
on.
algo más
Is
en lo
there
que te pueda
anything
ayudar?
else I can help you with?
Sí, podríamos
Yes, could
apagarlo
we
por
turn
favor.
it off, please?
Dispositivo apagado.
Device turned
¿Necesitas
off.
algo
Do you
más?
need anything else?
Sí, podríamos
Yes,
encenderlo
could we turn
nuevamente.
it on again? Is there anything else I can help with?
Dispositivo encendido. ¿Algo más en
Yes,
lo que
could
pueda
we
ayudar?
turn it off, please?
Sí,
Anything else
podríamos
I can help
apagarlo
with?
por
That would
favor.
be all. Thank you very much.
Dispositivo apagado.
Happy to
¿Algo más en lo
have
que pueda
helped you
ayudarte?
with the
Eso
device
sería todo, muchas
control.
gracias.
Have a good day. And in that way, we can control our hardware with conversational AI through an agent from ElevenLabs. If you noticed, this tutorial is low code. Really, there's very little we need to tweak at the code level. And the idea is that we can implement it in our rapid prototyping projects. That's all for now. And I hope you liked the video. And I hope to bring you much more content like this. Goodbye. And in that way, we can control our hardware with conversational AI through an agent from ElevenLabs. If you noticed, this tutorial is low code. Really, there's very little we need to tweak at the code level. And the idea is that we can implement it in our rapid prototyping projects. That's all for now. And I hope you liked the video. And I hope to bring you much more content like this. Goodbye. And in that way, we can control our hardware with conversational AI through an agent from ElevenLabs. If you noticed, this tutorial is low code. Really, there's very little we need to tweak at the code level. And the idea is that we can implement it in our rapid prototyping projects. That's all for now. And I hope you liked the video. And I hope to bring you much more content like this. Goodbye. And in that way, we can control our hardware with conversational AI